Halloween. What does it mean to you? A time for a good scare? A time for fun and festivities? Or are you like me and you enjoy a good scare? Because I'm definitely the first one. For me, Halloween is a time when I allow myself to be afraid. I allow myself to be frightened. I allow myself to hear the screams in the dark. So when I thought about what I wanted to present on my YouTube channel for Halloween, there was really only one choice. There was really only one song fitting for All Hallows Eve. I give you The Legend of the Wooley Swamp by Charlie Daniels. Well, if you ever go back in the woolly swamp, well, you better not go at night. There's things out there in the middle of them woods that make a strong man die of fright. Things that crawl, things that fly, things that creep around on the ground. And they say the ghost of Ellis Clay gets up and he walks around, but I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself, and I couldn't conceive it. 'Cause I never would have listened to nobody else. There's some things in this world you just can't explain. The old man lived in the woolly swamp way back in the Burger Woods. He never did do about a harm in the world, but he never did do no good. People didn't think too much of him. They all thought he acted funny. The old man didn't care about people anyway. All he cared about was his money. He'd stuff it all down in the mason jars and he'd bury it all around. And on certain nights when the moon looked right, he'd dig it up out of the ground. He'd pour it all out on the floor of his shack and he'd run his fingers through it. Yeah, Lucius Clay was a greedy old man, and that's all that there was to it. But I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself, and I couldn't conceive it. 'Cause I never would have listened to nobody else. There's some things in this world you just can't explain. Well, the Taylor boys were white trash who lived over on Carver's Creek. They're mean as a snake and sneaky as a cat and belligerent when they speak. One night the oldest brother said, "Y'all meet me at the woolly swamp later. We'll take old Lucius's money, then we'll feed him to the alligators." They found the old man out in the back with a shovel in his hand, and 13 rusty mason jars was dug up out of the sand. And they all went crazy and they beat the old man. They picked him up off the ground, threw him in the swamp, and stood there and laughed till the black water sucked him down. And then they turned around and went back to the shack, picked up the money and ran. They hadn't gone nowhere when they realized that they were running in quicksand. Well, they struggled and they screamed, but they couldn't get away, and just before they went under, they could hear that old man laughing in a voice as loud as thunder. That's been 50 years ago, and you can go by there yet. There's a spot in the yard in the back of that shack where the ground is always wet. And when the moon is right, and the moon is right, down by that dark wood path, you could hear 3 young men screaming. You could hear one old man laugh. Well, if you ever go back in the woolly swamp, well, you better not go at night. There's things out there in the middle of them woods that make a strong man die of fright. Things that crawl, things that fly, things that creep around on the ground. And they say the ghost of Lucius Clay gets up and he walks around, but I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself, and I couldn't conceive it. 'Cause I never would have listened to nobody else. Well, there's some things in this world you just can't explain. There's some things in this world you best not explain.